You're now tuned into Inner City Movements.
What's up, guys? This is your girl Zenya, and I'm here with InnerCityNY.com and your boy DJ Yung Blu. I'm Zenya.
Oh, I know you're Zenya.
Hi, I'm Zenya. Hi.
Can you tell everyone who Zenya is? Because I know who Zenya is, but can they know who Zenya is?
Zenya is, I'm going to talk about myself like a third person. Zenya is a singer-songwriter from Australia, a small town in Australia. And she's a writer, heartfelt writer, and melodic-driven singer.
Okay. Yeah. Now, Zenya is also a very beautiful name. It's very unique. What does that mean?
Zenya means two things in two different countries. So from the Greek origin, Zenya means helper of mankind. Which
I like that.
I'm a helper of mankind. And in Arabic, it means woman, which I am also.
Very beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, my next question is, because for those that don't know, we're in New York. You know, home of the Knicks. You know, go Knicks.
Woo.
Home of the Yankees, the Giants, the Jets,
and
also now home of Zenya.
Yes.
So now New York is also known as the Iron Jungle, where a lot of people have come here and went through a lot of peaks and valleys.
Yeah.
What was the hardest thing that you experienced living in New York?
That's a good question. Well, the hardest thing for me was leaving Australia, where I grew up with my family and my friends that I'd made all my life, and coming to a foreign place. And you got to understand, even though Australia is an English-speaking country, America may be an English-speaking country as well, but the culture is completely different, especially in New York. So coming to New York, not knowing anybody, but just coming here on a dream, knowing that if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere.
Absolutely.
So I came to New York and figured out that I had to hit the ground running. So that was the hardest part for me.
Okay. Now, I guess the next question to that, based on the first one, out of all the places in America, because you know you got LA, you got Chicago, New York. Why New York? Out of all the different popular cities in America, like, did you plan to say to yourself, like when you're in Australia, I want to get my career going in New York first?
I had a lot of opportunities to live in LA first, and I knew a lot of people in LA.
Okay.
But just the same, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere.
Absolutely. Okay.
And I'm up for the challenge on most things. So that was one of the reasons. And you know, you tell somebody in Australia or in any other place in the world, I live in New York, or I'm going to New York, automatically they're like, wow. You know, you say LA, it's like, oh, cool. But New York is, there's something magical, and people who have never been here feel as though it's something special. They know that there's that magical chemistry just by watching the TV. So I guess that's why.
How long have you been in New York for?
I've been here for 3.5 years.
Okay. Okay. So being here for 3 years, you worked on a few projects and you collaborated with a few artists.
Yes.
Tell us some of your recent projects right now.
Well, I'm really excited. I brought in the new year performing at Times Square for the ball drop for MTV with Demi Lovato, and that was exciting. I felt like I was in the movie, what's that movie? New Year's Eve. So I was really, really excited about that. That was definitely a highlight. And recently I've worked on Talib Kweli and Reese's new album, Habits of the Heart. I wrote 3 songs for that.
Wow.
So that was brilliant. I did some really great work. I'm really happy with my work that I've done for that album. I've had some amazing feedback from one song in particular called Beautifully Bad, which is a song straight from my heart. So check that out. And I'm about to go to Panama and Costa Rica to perform.
Okay. So.
Men. Men, duh. Men inspire me. Friends, going out, staying home, movies, New York City, family, real stuff. Real stuff inspires me. I think to be able to express that and to be able to deliver it, because no, I'm not just a writer. I pride myself on the way I deliver a song in the studio. When I'm in the booth, if I can put across what I'm really saying from my heart into the mic, then that's how it's going to grab onto somebody else.
Absolutely.
And they're going to be like, wow, she wrote that just for me.
Yeah. And
She's singing that to me. You know, it doesn't matter if I'm singing on key, out of key, little raspy, or it's not, or if it's just imperfect. The imperfections make my song perfect. You know.
So let me ask you this now. So we were talking about your works earlier. You're working with different artists and different projects. So I assume that your projects have taken you across the world, right?
Yes.
Where's your favorite place that you've traveled so far?
Well, I was in Indonesia. I loved Bali. That was great. I spent some time in India, which I loved. I really loved India. But I would definitely have to say New York City.
Wow, okay.
New York City.
Okay. Out of all those places,
Yeah.
New York?
Yeah, New York City. Everybody has to come here at one point or another.
Okay.
So I get access to everybody at some stage. They
That's
come
very
here.
true. That's very true.
You know?
From all different genres,
Yeah.
because, you know, New York is like the melting pot.
Yeah.
So speaking of genres, I don't like to normally ask this, because even me being a DJ, when people ask me what kind of music do you represent, it kind of feels like you kind of compartmentalize yourself, but you know, for most people, they still also have to get a baseline so that they can feel like they can identify with you. Not saying that that's what you're not only limited to, but they just need a baseline of where you start from. So if I can ask this, if somebody was to ask you what kind of music or genre of music you represent, what would you say?
If I said pop, which I am,
Okay.
pop just means popular.
Right, absolutely.
So I'm a fusion of reggae, soul, R&B. World music. Every song and every theme of your life has a different soundtrack. So I just try to fusion that into a secular sounding song.
Okay.
Generally has a good drum beat, just feel good music.
Okay.
Whatever suits the situation, but under all it's pop, but it's R&B and reggae and fun and sad and emotional, whatever grasps.
Okay. Like you said, feel good. Whatever
Yeah,
you
feel
feel
good.
the time.
Feel good music.
And you want to put into the booth when you get
That's what y'all like.
Of course, that's what we all like. So let me ask you.
That's what you play.
Exactly. I only play feel good
Whatever
music.
you play,
Exactly.
I make. All right.
Okay. I clearly understand that now. So let me ask you then, what is your favorite music?
Reggae, man, you done know.
Yeah, that's all right.
Reggae, I like salsa. I'm always playing the Gypsy Kings and just reggae. I love reggae.
Who's your favorite reggae artist?
Shaggy
Oh, okay.
and Gregory Isaacs.
Well, we were talking about that behind the scenes, right?
Right.
They don't know.
Right, okay.
Well, why? Let's look a little bit about Shaggy. Why particularly Shaggy is one of your favorite artists?
Shaggy, I grew up with Shaggy.
Okay.
You know, before I met Shaggy, I grew up with Shaggy. And he has significant moments. His songs have significant moments in my life. And I hope that my songs do with the younger generation also.
Okay.
But his songs, you know, It Wasn't Me and Shorty on My Angel, those songs, who doesn't know that? Even the younger even the generation now would have heard that song at one stage or another. And if it's their first time hearing it, they'll remember it.
Just
They'll
by the
remember
way
it.
it was delivered.
Yeah.
And the funny
He's
thing,
a character.
like you said too, that was a reggae song, but it's also pop because it
Yes.
was so popular. It broke across different markets.
Yeah, it
So
did.
it's okay. I definitely
It did.
understand. Also, big up Gregory Isaacs, rest in peace.
Oh, yeah,
One of my
rest in
favorites
peace.
too. One of my favorites. So, up until now, you know, what do you think has been the hardest part that you've experienced being in this industry?
That's a good question. To be able to be accepted and respected for my gift and my talent and my creativity first before my femininity.
Okay. Which is, and alright, so let me ask you this just based on that, because I noticed it's harder for a female. I can't speak from experience, but I'm just going.
I'm not going to say harder, I'm going to say more challenging.
Challenging, okay, yes, challenging, because a lot of people may look at it more, so like you said, they look at the femininity more. So what do you do, if you're allowed to share some of the secrets, but what do you do to kind of, you know, let people kind of say, yes, respect my femininity, but also respect my music? How do you do that?
For me, and this goes to all the women in all different industries. For me, as a person, and this is revealing Zenya as a person.
You guys get some secrets
This
now,
is
so
like
listen up.
scratch beneath the surface kind of stuff. It's just about setting boundaries. If you set your boundaries, like you're a beautiful mansion. Everybody, every single person is a beautiful mansion, and you have a fence, a picket fence around you. If you allow that, and that no one should be behind your fence.
Okay.
If you allow someone into that, they're able to mess up the whole yard and leave, and you have to clean up after them. If you have a guest, you have to clean up after them. So it's just being able to set boundaries.
Okay.
And be strong and believe in who you are and believe in your right as a human being and as a person, as a woman from the question, but as a person in general. And that's what I do. I just keep my boundaries, and as a woman, I've had to learn growing up how to keep my boundaries. I had a great mom and my family, a great family, so I had to learn that. With 4 older brothers, they taught me pretty quick.
So,
yeah.
all in all, it breaks down to kind of like knowing your self-worth.
Yeah, absolutely.
And respect for self.
Yes.
Okay, I'm definitely down with that. Okay, so that was the 4th one.